Have you ever been captivated by a speaker, their words flowing effortlessly, their message etching itself into your memory? It's a mesmerizing experience, isn't it? The way they weave their narrative, the way their voice rises and falls, holding you in rapt attention. You might find yourself wondering, how do they do it? Is it some kind of magic? It's easy to assume they possess a natural gift of gab, a talent bestowed upon a select few. We often think that such eloquence and charisma are inborn traits, something that can't be learned or acquired. We see charismatic leaders effortlessly commanding attention and wonder if they were simply born with that ability. Their presence seems almost otherworldly, as if they were destined to lead and inspire. But what if I told you that this assumption is often wrong? What if the reality is that these skills can be learned, practiced, and perfected by anyone willing to put in the effort? The truth is, compelling speaking isn't solely about innate talent. It's about dedication, practice, and a deep understanding of the principles that make communication effective. It's a skill, honed and refined through understanding and leveraging the very principles that govern human behavior. Just as a craftsman spends years mastering their tools, effective speakers spend countless hours refining their techniques. Just as a skilled craftsman masters their tools, effective speakers master the art of influence, consciously or unconsciously, by tapping into the power of mental biases. They understand the subtle cues that can sway an audience, the gestures that can emphasize a point, and the tone that can convey emotion. These biases, often seen as shortcuts in our thinking, can be powerful tools for persuasion when used ethically and effectively. They can help a speaker connect with their audience on a deeper level, making their message more memorable and impactful. By understanding these biases, we can unlock the secrets of charismatic speaking and learn to communicate with greater impact and influence. Imagine being able to hold an audience's attention, to persuade and inspire, simply by understanding the way people think. This essay will delve into 5 key mental biases: availability bias, contrast effect, zero-risk bias, halo effect, and substitution sky bias, and explore how they can be harnessed to enhance your communication skills. Each of these biases offers unique insights into the human mind and can be used to make your message more compelling. We will illustrate how these biases can be used to enhance your communication skills. From making your message more relatable to creating a sense of urgency, these techniques can transform the way you speak and connect with others. Prepare to embark on a journey that will empower you to connect with your audience on a deeper level and leave a lasting impression with your words. Whether you're speaking to a small group or a large crowd, these insights will help you become a more effective and charismatic communicator. So, are you ready to unlock the secrets of powerful speaking? Let's dive in and discover the methods behind the magic. Mental biases are like invisible forces shaping our perceptions and decisions. They are the unseen architects of our thoughts, subtly guiding us in ways we often don't realize. They're the mental shortcuts our brains take to simplify a complex world, reducing the cognitive load and helping us navigate through the vast sea of information we encounter daily. These biases often operate beneath our conscious awareness, influencing our choices without us even knowing. They are like the autopilot mode of our minds, steering us through decisions big and small. While these shortcuts can sometimes lead to errors in judgment, they can also be incredibly useful, especially in the realm of communication. They help us make sense of the world quickly and efficiently. Think of it this way: our brains are constantly bombarded with information. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, we are inundated with data, messages, and stimuli. To cope with this overload, we develop heuristics, mental shortcuts to help us make quicker decisions. These heuristics are like mental algorithms, designed to streamline our thought processes. These heuristics often manifest as biases, influencing how we interpret information, judge risks, and even perceive the credibility of a speaker. They shape our reality, coloring our perceptions and judgments. By understanding these biases, we can anticipate how our audience might react to certain information or arguments. This knowledge allows us to tailor our messages to align with their mental frameworks. We can frame our messages in a way that resonates with their existing thought patterns, making our communication more persuasive and memorable. It's about connecting with people on a deeper, more intuitive level. This isn't about manipulation or trickery. It's about empathy and understanding. It's about recognizing the mental landscapes of our audience and navigating them with care and respect. It's about understanding the human psyche and using that knowledge to communicate more effectively. When we understand the biases at play, we can craft messages that are not only heard, but felt. Just as a doctor uses their knowledge of anatomy to heal, we can use our knowledge of mental biases to inform and inspire. This approach allows us to reach our audience in a more meaningful and impactful way. In the following sections, we'll explore specific biases and learn practical techniques for incorporating them into your communication toolkit. We'll delve into the nuances of each bias and uncover strategies to leverage them effectively. Get ready to unlock the power of influence and transform your speaking from ordinary to extraordinary. With this knowledge, you'll be equipped to engage, persuade, and inspire like never before. The availability bias is a fascinating quirk of our minds. It states that we tend to judge the likelihood of an event based on how easily we can recall similar instances. For example, after watching a news report about a shark attack, you might be more afraid of swimming in the ocean, even though statistically you're more likely to be struck by lightning. This bias plays a crucial role in how we perceive risk and make decisions. Vivid, emotionally charged examples are more easily recalled than dry statistics, making them more influential in shaping our opinions. So how can we use this to our advantage in our communication? By incorporating vivid imagery, relatable anecdotes, and emotionally resonant stories, we can make our messages more memorable and persuasive. For instance, instead of simply stating a statistic about poverty, a speaker might share a poignant story about a family struggling to make ends meet. This evokes a stronger emotional response, making the message more impactful and memorable. Remember, the goal is not to manipulate, but to connect. By tapping into the availability bias, we can make our messages stick with our audience long after we finish speaking. Imagine you're lifting weights at the gym. You walk in feeling determined and ready to push your limits. You start with a relatively light weight, something that feels manageable and allows you to warm up your muscles. Then, after a few sets, you switch to a much heavier one, challenging your strength and endurance. The second weight will feel even heavier than it actually is because of the contrast with the lighter weight you lifted just before. This sudden shift makes the heavier weight seem almost insurmountable. This is the contrast effect in action. Our perception of something is influenced by what we compare it to. The same principle applies beyond the gym, affecting how we perceive various aspects of life. In the realm of public speaking, the contrast effect can be used strategically to emphasize key points and make your message more persuasive. By carefully structuring your speech, you can lead your audience through a journey of contrasts. Think of Ronald Reagan's famous "A Time for Choosing" speech, where he eloquently contrasted the stark realities of communism with the freedoms enjoyed in a democratic society. His words painted a vivid picture of two opposing worlds. By highlighting this contrast, he made his message for individual liberty all the more powerful and convincing. The audience could clearly see the differences and were moved by the compelling narrative. You can apply this principle in your own communication by strategically presenting information in a specific order. Whether you're giving a business presentation or a motivational speech, the way you frame your points can make a significant impact. For instance, if you're proposing a new initiative that requires an investment, you might first present a scenario where no action is taken, highlighting the potential negative consequences. This sets the stage for your audience to understand the stakes involved. Then, you present your initiative, showcasing its benefits in stark contrast to the previous scenario. By doing so, you create a clear and compelling case for why your proposal is the better option. This technique makes your proposal appear more attractive and reasonable. The contrast between the negative and positive scenarios helps to highlight the advantages of your initiative. The contrast effect highlights the importance of framing. How you present your information can significantly influence how it is received and interpreted by your audience. By carefully choosing your points of comparison, you can guide your audience's perception and lead them towards your desired conclusion. This requires thoughtful planning and a deep understanding of your audience's values and concerns. Remember, it's not about distorting the truth, but about presenting it in a way that maximizes its impact. The contrast effect is a powerful tool in your communication arsenal, helping you to deliver messages that resonate and persuade. So the next time you prepare a speech or presentation, think about how you can use contrast to your advantage. Consider the order in which you present your points and how each one can build upon the previous to create a compelling narrative. By mastering the art of contrast, you can set the stage for a powerful message that leaves a lasting impression on your audience. Your words will not only be heard but felt, driving home the importance of your message.